If you don't know how to install the local AI package on your virtual server, then this video is for you. I show you step by step how to configure the server, how to install the local AI package, and also how to set up the domains, as well as how to use n8n with an example workflow using Google Drive. Let's start. As already said, I will install the local AI package on Hetzner Cloud. If you don't have an account, please create one or use another provider and adapt the steps to your needs. So for Hetzner, you go to login on the top, cloud, and either log in if you already have an account or you register and create one, and then we can go on. So when you logged in the first time, you will see this dashboard where you can manage your projects. The project here can contain multiple servers, so you can manage them all together. So let's take a look at my local AI package. You just create a new one and then you can do the same as I showed now. Here in the dashboard you have an overview over all stuff within this project, so all servers, firewalls, IPs and so on. So we can mark the first thing here, create project as done, and go over to the next step, which is add an SSH key. So we go here to create resource. Oh no, sorry, it's here. Scroll a little bit down, add SSH key, and then we can add our SSH key here. If you don't have one, no problem, just create a new one. I already have it here open. It's git bash. If you don't know how to install it, take a look at this video where I show it quickly, and then you can just type SSH keygen -t RSA. This will create the needed files in the user directory SSH folder. So we just go with the default location. I need to override because I already got one. You can enter a passphrase to secure it. I will leave it empty here. And then we got our keys. So you can find them now in this directory, see users, then your username, and then .ssh. So the ID RSA is your private key. Don't show it to anybody. It's private as it said. And the public key is the one we need. So you can just open it in an editor, copy paste it, go back here and put it in. I need to change the name because I already got another one with the same name. We can set it to default and click add. Okay, then you can see here all your keys. I have multiple ones, but I don't need the other ones, so let's just delete them. And then you got here your new SSH key. Okay, the next step then here in our task list is to configure the firewall. We go back to the dashboard, and then here is firewalls, or you can also create resource and then firewalls. And then you can see here all firewall rules you can set up. So by default, port 22 is open, which is needed for the SSH connection. That's fine. And that's okay. We don't need, we need actually two more ports, which is port 80 and port 443. So let's add them. Port 80, which is the standard HTTP port. And then we add another one, 443, which is standard for HTTPS. And we can create this firewall. Let me quickly check. Outbound rules we don't need. Yeah, that's all standard. We can name it YouTube in this case, and then create the firewall. Okay, we are done with the firewall configuration and we can now create the server. So we click create resource, servers, and then you get this dialog to set up your server. I will choose location Nuremberg because it's closest to me. We go with the default image Ubuntu. We take ARM64 here as type for the CPU because it's the cheapest. So if you compare here on the right, it's 755 and this one is just 379 in this case, but we need a little bit bigger server. So I will go with this one with 8 vCPUs and 16 gigabyte of RAM. And the rest is okay. I already got an IP. You have to create a new one, or if it will set up a new one for you. And the SSH key is already added. We created it before, so that's the default for all projects then. You could add additional ones if you like. Okay, for the firewall, then we select our firewall 1 YouTube we just created, and the rest is fine until the cloud configuration. Okay, let's just mark this new server already as done, because the next step is the cloud-init configuration. This is this step here. Just open the URL I put in here in the task list, and then copy it here on the copy button and paste it in. So we can quickly go back and I show you what it does. So this is basically an install script to initialize your server. So you don't have to install, for example, Python 3, the firewall, etc. on your own. So it will directly install automatically. Also, I added a configuration here to open the ports in the firewall, which we need, and enable Docker. So nothing to do anymore for you then later. So cloud-init is normally default on the newest Ubuntu release, not just on Hetzner Cloud. So you could also use this on other hosting partners. If they don't have it here in the configuration, you have to do it manually on the server, but this is also possible. Okay, one more thing we need to change here. I create here also a new user, tech user. You could rename it to whatever you want, but yeah, we also need to add the SSH key we want to connect with then later to our server for this user. So we just use, or I use just the same SSH key here. You could create another one, or you got another one and use this. And maybe one other thing, I have the German keyboard layout here, so you can also switch it to EN for English or whatever you want. So also, if you need more software pre-installed, you can add it here. The easy way to add stuff here is just to use the script, paste it to ChatGPT or whatever AI you want, and tell it to extend it with the software you need. Okay, then we are done with this configuration. We can give a name as well. I will n8n, let's put local AI package here. And we can then create the server. So it will cost us $12.49 a month. So maybe a hint here, you can shut down the server, but it will still cost the same. So it doesn't matter if it is running or not, because they have to keep the resources for you. And yeah, that's why it always costs. So you can always keep it running. Okay, the server is now starting up. You got here your IP and it's already green. We can click on it and you get an overview about the stats of your server. So you can also see here the usage and how much you have already to pay for it, and all specs again. Also, you got here in the menu the possibility to do snapshots. So if it is set up and you want to test around a bit, but don't want to install them later again and again, if you messed it up, just create a snapshot if you are done with your initial setup, and then you can go back to this one. You can also set up load balancers, firewalls we already discussed before, and yeah, some other stuff here. You can also delete the server then here if you don't need it anymore. not just want to test it, just delete the server and you don't have to pay anything. Okay, the next step is to connect to the server via SSH. So we just copy the IP here. Then you go to your preferred terminal. You can use Windows Terminal or whatever you want. I use MobiXterm as software to connect to my servers. I can link it below in the video if you like to test it out yourself. And it's easily to manage here your SSH connection and keep it clean. So we can create here a new session, SSH, put in the IP I just copied. The user I specified in the cloud-init is tech user. Port is 22, that's fine. And then we can also click here on advanced SSH settings. So if needed, you can select here your private key, the SSH one we created before. If it doesn't work on your system directly, just choose it here for the connection and then click OK. Okay, then we can click accept here. So we trust the server, it's ours, and we are connected. Okay, let's mark it as done. And the next step is to point your domains or your domain to the new server. Okay, I use United Domains to manage my domains. You have to log in your provider where you have your domain and then go to DNS records, and it should look similar to this one I got here. Then you can change the A record, and for example, I will change the wildcard here, so all subdomains will go to my new server except the one I defined here on top. You can also define all domains separately, so NetN, Supabase, Langfuse, whatever you want to have on a domain. So I guess for the most people it's NetN what they want to reach on their domain, so you can also just put in NetN. Okay, then save it, and this can take a while until all DNS servers are refreshed and it is working, but as soon as this is done, you can reach the servers then on this domain. Okay, we mark it as done and go over to the server configuration or to the install of the local AI package. So this is wrong here. We copy the first URL here, is clone the Git repository. We go back to our terminal. We can check on which directory we are currently are. Let me clean this up. You can see better. Let's move this as well. So okay, so we copied it, right click to paste it in, and we cloned the local AI package now. Then go into directory. Let's mark this. Then copy the environment file here. And then we can just open the environment file on the server with nano.env, for example, to change everything we need to change. You can also go here in MobiXterm on the SSH browser. Click here on the bottom to follow terminal folder, and then you can use it here directly with an editor. So right click, open with default editor, and then you have an editor and can work here instead of the console. Okay, the next step is to generate the encryption key we need here for Langfuse in line 44. So let's do this first. We can do this directly on the server as well. So right click and paste in the command. And then we get this SSL key, this encryption key, sorry. You can just mark it with double left click, press enter to copy it, and then we just paste it here. Okay, let's mark this as done. The next step is optional if you don't want to use domains and just use the IP plus the port to access your NetN instance, then you have to set this parameter here, this environment variable in your Docker Compose file. I added here a screenshot as well, so yeah, if you need this, you can add it. Make sure you also add then the ports to your Hetzner firewall in this case, and also to the firewall on the server. Okay, the next step is to change all these files, beginning with the Supabase configuration here, starting on line 23. So we have to set a Postgres password, which I will just take anything from here now. You take a secure password. Then we need the JWT secret, add-on key, and the service role. And this we can generate on the website of Supabase in their documentation. So just open your browser, paste in this URL, and then you can go here, JWT secret. So as you can see, this changed on every reload, so it's not the same for every user. So you can just copy this one, then paste this in as our JWT secret. And then we have to get the other stuff as well. So the add-on key here selected first and click generate. So then you can copy it and paste it here as add-on key. Then we have to go back here and choose service key. So don't reload. So this is all consistent, and do the same for the service key. Okay, and then the Supabase username can be the same. That's okay. For me, at least, you can change if you want. And I changed the password here as well. And the tenant ID as. So let's just do 1000 as here in the example. Doesn't matter. You can change it to anyone you like, anything you like. Okay, let's quickly save with Control S. And then we can go on with the other stuff we need to change. Yeah, we have to change the configuration encryption key for N8N, JWT secret here as well. You can use the same here, but you can also use any password here. I guess that's not needed to be a JWT secret. Okay, we got this, we got this block, and then we have to configure the LangFuse credentials as well. I will just use the same here. You can go with different passwords if you need, if you like to, but this is just a demo, so it doesn't matter. Okay, then we got this bullet perfectly fine. Mark this, save, and we go to the next one. This is configuring the domain. So you have to remove the hash here in front for all you want to set domains for. In my case, I will do it for N8N, smart-code.diy. And I also want the Supabase for sure to take a look at my database tables, smart-code.diy. And yeah, as said, you can set it for all. Make sure you map your domains so that the DNS entries are correct if you don't have a wildcard set up like me. And we need here also the Let's Encrypt email. So put in your email here, otherwise you don't get the certificates. Then we can mark this point also as checked. Yeah, then we save it, go back to mobile extern. Yeah, if I save, you can see it's uploading here. So that's fine. So the next step is to start the services. Just copy the command here, Python start services with profile CPU. We don't have a GPU on the server, just 8-core CPU stuff, and run it. So it's now setting up the whole Supabase stuff for us. As you can see here, it's pulling the Docker containers, and then we'll start up everything so we can use it. So let's mark this as done as well and wait until it's finished. Okay, everything is up now, as you can see here. This took a few minutes, and we can now check with Docker PS. That is everything running. Let's do it again bigger so you can see better. And as you can see, all containers are up and running. So this is fine. And we can now test out if the domain is working. So let's go back to the browser. Then we go to n8n.smartcode.diy. And as you can see, we can now reach our instance. Especially the n8n instance here. We create an account here, test.de, doesn't matter in this case. Thomas, and create a password here as well. And you can also toggle receive security updates and product updates if you want. I don't want this now. And you are ready to go. So you have got the 3 example workflows here. And yeah, everything is up and running. Now let's configure an example workflow and see if it is actually running. We want to use the first one with the Google integration, Google Drive integration, and set everything up here. I make this a little bit bigger. Oh, no, that's bad because we need the task list as well. Let me do it like this and close this one. And then we need to set up everything. So if it is a red for you, so it says there is a wrong configuration, just go in and out and then it's gone. For the other stuff, you have to set up the Ollama credentials. Just click in the chat model, create new credentials, and this is the second one. So we just need Ollama instead of localhost here. Save, as you can see, successfully. Then for the model, you can select or need to select the Qwen 2.5 7B instruct model, which was automatically pulled via the configuration. Then the next step is to set the credentials for Postgres. So the host is DB. And the password is the one you set in your .env file before. So let's pull this quickly over. Here it's in line 23. Just grab this if you don't know it. Paste it here. Click save. And we are also connected. Okay, so that's also fine. The next one is quadrant vector. Let's do the same here. Set up credentials. The API key doesn't matter here. It's not needed, but we need the host. So this is this one. And save. And also working. Okay, this one you can just click in, but it's also Ollama in this case. We already set up here, so it has done it automatically. And this one has also set the credentials, but we need to set the model here again. Go back. And here is nothing to configure, so this top one is fine. Okay. The next one is the setup of the Google Drive folder or the Google connection. We go on the file created node, create new credentials here as well. And then we need to set up this OAuth configuration. I pasted the link here in the task list, just copy it. And then you are logged into you have to log in your Google account and then go to APIs and services. If you don't see it in your quick list, just search it here. Search API and you see it here, APIs and services. And then we can create credentials. And we need new OAuth credentials. So just click here on create credentials. OAuth client ID. Select web application here. Give it a name. I leave it default. And then here's an important step. We need the authorized redirect URI we can get from here. So you have to copy this one, add here, paste, press enter to save it, and then, or to create it. And then you get here your client ID. We copy it, paste it here, and then also copy the secret. Doesn't matter, you can see it. I will delete it after I recorded the video, so that doesn't matter. Okay, paste this as well, and then click sign in with Google. Then you get this dialog. You have to select your account if you have multiple ones as me. Select the correct one. Yeah, this app isn't verified, but it's our app, so we continue. And then we select all permissions and click continue again. Okay, connection successful. Go back. And then here in this dialog, you can then configure some stuff. The poll time, so how often it gets updates from the Google Drive and checks what is created. In this case, the trigger on and the folder you want to watch. Okay, in this case, we don't see something because we missed one step, and this is, if we take a look here in the task list, we need to enable Google Drive as well. Let's go back here and click enable APIs and services. And then search for Google Drive here. Yeah, open Google Drive. Oh, it's already enabled, and then it's for me another problem, but you have to do it this anyway. And yeah, click here on enable for you to use the Google Drive. You have to do it actually before you try to connect your credentials. Yeah. Okay, I guess I don't have any other. Okay, I see the problem. I was connected with, or I'm connected with my other Google account, so I selected the wrong one. So I have to sign in again with my other account, do the same, continue, and then it should work. Okay, as you can see here, I can now see all my folders from my Google Drive. I got here a n8n_2 folder. Let's choose this one. And so if anything is created within this folder, this node will trigger. So we go back and check file updated here as well. The Google Drive account is already set up, and we just have to choose here the same folder. Okay, let's check quickly the other stuff here. There is nothing to set up here in the default, nothing to configure. That's also fine. Yeah, embeddings is also fine. Yeah, we can mark this step as done, and then we can, as final step, just test the workflow. Quickly save this workflow as well. I'm now here in my Google Drive. Here's my n8n2 folder. I have a lot of stuff here, and we just change something here now and see if the workflow is triggered. So just change the name n8n5 here. So it changed, and we can now take a look here, executions, and see if something appears. So as you may remember, it was to check once a minute, so it should trigger shortly. Okay, I missed one step, and this is to activate the workflow. So let's quickly do this here on top, set it active after you saved it. Got it, and then it should work. So let's do a change again. Fix, okay, and go back. Yeah, as you can see, it's now running. So it got the change we did in the Google Drive, and it's now using that workflow. If we quickly go back to our terminal, MobileXterm in my case, we got also these resource statistics here on the bottom. So you can see the server is actually working. CPU load is 97%, so it's doing something. RAM, we only use about 6 gig, so you could go with 8 GB as type for the server as well, I guess. You don't need the 16 GB if you just wanted to use it like that and don't change the Ollama model to a bigger one or whatever. Install other stuff as well. Okay, as you can see here now, we got our succeeded workflow execution, but I had to refresh my page one time and try it again because on the first I got a credential error. So it doesn't pick up my Ollama credentials well. So, but this is a good case. I can show you how to debug it. So if you go back to your mobile XTerm in the terminal, and then you can use this command to check the logs of your container. So you can either leave it like this to get all logs from all containers in one terminal, or you just put in the name of the container as well at the end. So for example, initn, and then we just get the logs for initn. And as you can see here, I got this error. So it picked a wrong Ollama API credential. I don't know where it was coming from, maybe from the default, but yeah, it tried it 2 times, it failed. Then I just refreshed the whole page and tried it again, changed another file, and then it worked. Okay, now we got a file indexed. We can now try it in the chat as well and tell it what documents you got listed. And I tried this time this file, marketing campaign plan. Can take a quickly look here what's in there. Go back and see what we get. Okay, we got this answer. Now maybe let's ask something else from the document as well. So let's copy this. What is data sense? Check this out. So as you can see, it's executing here everything. Takes a look at the vector store now. Okay, and we got the answer here from the AI agent. So this looks fine. And as you can see, everything is working. I just took a look here at the resources again, and now we are at 11 gigabytes. So 8 gigabyte is not enough. So it's good we got 16 gigabyte. But as you already also saw, it's a little bit slow because of the just 8 CPUs and no GPU. So yeah, you can either switch to a smaller model maybe, or use a bigger machine to get faster results. Okay, that's it for today's video. If you want to know how to install this locally and not on a virtual server, take a look at this video. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Bye.